Okay. Okay. What's up, everybody out there? How you doing? Um, so on my last live, I promised that I was going to go live every single day. I did miss yesterday. For those of y'all who don't know, and I just disconnected it from me in order to do this live. But where is it? Where did it even go? Oh, I tucked it in. But anyway, let me just reach it up through here. This is like my little, it's not a PICC line, but anyway, it's connects to my pump, which is connected to my body for my insulin. I am a diabetic, and sometimes I do have bad days. So if y'all don't see me, it's probably because I'm having a really bad diabetic day. I'm having a problem balancing my blood sugars, or my numbers are off and I'm just in bed. But anyway, I did want to come and be live here tonight. And I said in my last live too, I was going to do better about my time. Like I was going to go live more during the day and not late at night. But y'all, it's just really, it is hard out here. It's hard out here being a content creator because, especially when you have kids, I had to go grocery shopping today. I had like a bunch of things that I had to do today. And you look up and it's like, okay, it's like the middle of the night. Um, but I am really going to work on getting on getting on YouTube. I'm really working on building my channel and coming up with content that y'all want to see, and getting y'all to participate, being on here at a time where there are more of you all up and you have the ability to participate. But of course, even though in the United States right now it's 2:42 in the morning, cannot believe that, and that I'm up and wide awake. But yeah, I do also know that around the world, y'all are starting, or it's your evening. You've already had your whole day. So, anyway, really excited about the topics that I'm going to discuss tonight or this morning. And I want to remind you, you can check me out on my other platforms. I'm going to be really working on updating all of my TikTok channel this week, and also getting on IG. Really haven't done anything on IG as of late. Going to be working on IG. So those are my three big ones that I'm working on. I tend to favor Facebook. So I do want to give everybody equal time, and I really want to give YouTube. I want to switch over from Facebook to giving YouTube the majority of my time. So just know that you can follow me on social media platforms. It will be under Texan Tish Tillis, my name. And I'm working on getting really much more exciting content that you guys will want to listen to. I don't believe in niche. I don't believe in that. It's just not me. I can't be contained. I have so many things to talk about, and I have story time to roll out to you guys, and just all this really fun stuff, and I just can't keep it in just one area. So I believe that people should have lots of content to choose from, and they can pick and choose, what is their favorite to decide to tune into and hear and listen to and all that. So I'm going to just put it all out there for y'all, and y'all can just take in whatever you want to. Okay, we're also going to be working in the next couple of weeks on better internet connection. Yes. And like I said, I have AT&T, so I have really good internet. But for whatever, and I have the modem right here in my office, but for whatever reason, I don't know, it just doesn't want to act right. It don't want to act right. Anyway, I wanted to talk tonight about some things that I discussed, some topics I discussed today that were pretty controversial on Facebook, on my Facebook Reels. So y'all can go check out my Reels on Facebook under Tish Tillis. Okay. or you can check them out under Texan Tish Tillis. So my name is spelled Tish. And last name is Tillis. If you are watching this on a replay, please hit replay, give it a like, and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so let me just tell you some of the topics that I discussed tonight. We're going to go, whoops. Looking at marriage culturally, what white women do for black men, how to be your husband's mistress, why is that black man with a white woman, why more black men are with white women, how unattractive women keep a hot man, marriage secret, she will take your man, and valuable marriage advice. So there's all these topics that I discussed on my reels, on Facebook, under my Tish Tillis, my personal page. So check out my reels, but we're going to discuss a couple of those items here tonight. This morning, I'm sorry, it's this morning, but it's dark outside. So to me, it's tonight on this live. Okay. I don't want to make it too long. I don't want to kill y'all. But I think these are some really good topics, and I think too often they're not discussed. So I do want to talk a bit, about marriage. And y'all, my closet door is freaking me out because I'm facing my closet, and every time I look at it, it looks like before it looked like it was totally closed, and now it looks like it's partially open, and now I'm afraid to go in my closet. So anyway, has nothing to do with the topics. But I want to discuss these topics. I want to know if any of you have seen the interview that Cam Newton did and what he said. And I thought it was fabulous, and he got a lot of hate for it. But I really and I admired what he said because he kept it real. And so for those of y'all who don't know me yet, I am... my nickname is Mama Tish. I have 5 children, 3 of whom are adults. I've been married with my husband 20 plus years. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I am a homeschooler. I've homeschooled for 20 plus years. Let's see what else. That's pretty much it. So when I give marriage advice, I'm giving marriage advice from the perspective of somebody who has been married for 20 plus years. Not 20 plus years. We haven't been married for 20 plus years. We've been together for 20 plus years. And from the perspective of somebody who has 5 kids and, having a lot of things I've spoken to, like my children's significant others, and gotten some of my material from. And anyway, my gifting is speaking to complete strangers while I'm out and about. That's my mission. I don't feel like I need to go to a foreign country or anything else. My mission is to speak to people while I'm out and about, and they open up to me and talk to me about all sorts of intimate details about their personal lives. These are people that I do not know from Adam. And I like to listen. Sometimes the Lord leads me to give them advice. But anyway, I talk to a lot of people. And so when I give advice or my perspective, it is just that. It is mine. I am not a professional. It's based on people that I speak to, personal experiences, things that I've gone through in life, and that kind of thing. So, you do not have to agree with me at all whatsoever. But this is just based on what I've seen and what I've experienced. So the first thing I want to talk about is marriage in general. Okay. So once again, just my take on marriage. Everybody is different. Everybody goes into marriage with different ideas and expectations. and agreements. And what works for me may definitely not work for you. Um, and so on and so forth. So, once again, just for me. Marriage is, if you are thinking about undertaking it, definitely one of the most difficult things that you will ever do in your life. And I like to tell people that the thing that I am, two things that I am most proud of in this world, most proud of in this world, is the fact that I've stayed in my marriage and of my children, that I stayed home and I raised my children and I was there for their first everything. Um, and all of their life memories and experiences as children I'm connected to, and that's super important to me. And I'm extremely proud of that. So those are the two things that are most important to me. So that being said, my husband and I have known each other since high school and have always talked and always been honest with each other. And I've had throughout my life a lot of, you know, good male friends and spoken with them. And so this is where I get my, if you're wondering where I get my masculine perspective from, that's where I get it from. And then also talking to my son, my oldest son, and his friends or whatever. And so that's where I'm getting this from. So marriage, like I was saying, is very difficult. It's very, very hard. As hard as you think it's going to be, it's going to be even harder. And I'll say that also about raising children. As hard as you think it's going to be even harder. You're thinking it's going to end when they turn 18 and you're all excited. But if you're a really good parent, it so does not end at 18. There are continuing dramas and situations and problems and um, all kinds of things. In fact, I like to say, now that my children are grown, that being a parent to an adult child is 20 times harder than being a parent to a child under 18. Because when they're under 18, they're in your house, they're under your roof, you choose their friends, you choose where they're going, you know where they are every night, and so on and so forth. All of the things that you do not have the privilege of once they are over 18 necessarily. So, anyway, um, when you get married, so I'm going to talk in generalities. So when I say something, I'm not speaking about every single white person or every single black person or every single woman or every single marriage or whatever. Okay. So I'm speaking in general, real general terms. Um, but there is a very high rate of divorce in today's society. And the attitude that people, they take vows and they say, always and forever and until death do we part. But more often than not, it comes out to people are selfish, and two selfish people get together. And successful marriages are not and cannot succeed with selfish people, because there are going to be many, many times when you are right, but that's not going to matter, because what's going to matter more is your husband's ego, or what's going to matter more is you having the ability to humble yourself and let your husband be the head of the household. Um, so this is okay. This is so like this so many different things. I'm trying to calm down and categorize them and put them in order so they make a little bit more sense. So, um, I am a strong believer. So, this is my channel. You're going to get my opinions. I'm a strong believer that the man is the head of the household. Okay. And I believe that there are a lot of strong, successful, highly educated women out there with multiple degrees making a lot of money who do not have a man. And a lot of them say, I don't need a man. I have everything. I can do everything for myself. Okay, congratulations for you. But a lot of these women do, in fact, want men. I have a lot of friends in my friend group, um, and associates that I grew up with, um, which is funny because, I was most unlikely to have children. I had children first, and they all had these careers that were super important to them while I was at home raising children. And um, then one day they snapped out of it and they were like, oh my gosh, I need to get married and have children right this second. And they had spent many many years in their careers, and so they were successful, making a lot of money. And let me tell you what happens to women, because I've seen this firsthand many times. Okay, what tends to happen to women who are career minded women, who go to school for long periods of time and then get into a career, their career becomes their child. Their career becomes their singular focus. And they have invested so much into their career that oftentimes it is very difficult for them to um, put their career at a back burner. They're used to having everything their own way because they've been single. So they haven't had to learn how to accommodate other people's feelings on a daily, ongoing basis. Even if they have children, because a lot of these women who have children, they really just run their children as well. And so they're not used to budging. They're used to paying their own bills and, buying their own car and buying their own house and all of these things that make them very independent alpha females. And so when they decide to get a husband, and once again, something I've seen countless times, when they decide to get a husband, a lot of times a lot of these women are not successful or have problems finding a husband, for several reasons. Obviously, the longer that you wait to get into the dating pool in a serious manner, at a certain age, I don't get mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger. But men consider you kind of old and dried up. And here's the thing about men. So a man can be 40, right? And he's hitting his prime. He looks great. He's finally matured. He's making the money he's been working hard all these years to make. He's got it going on, right? He's hitting the gym, getting toned up, whatever. He's probably, if he's on the market at 40 or, somewhere around there, he's probably already been through his first marriage. He probably has children and considers himself to be quite a catch. And there's a lot of women who are looking for that man. So he actually is quite a catch. Women, on the other hand, there's lots and lots and lots of us. And at 40 years old, we are typically not the woman that men are really looking for. There's tons of young, hot girls out there that would love to have a 40-year-old husband. Um, so you're competing against them. You're competing against, you're mainly competing against younger women, because a lot of these men want to go and they want to have a second family. They want to do over and do right what they didn't do right in the first marriage. And they need a young girl who can bear them new children and they can have a whole new life with. They don't want a reminder of what they already just got out of. And so that puts a lot of older women at a disadvantage right there to begin with. Um, and so it's harder for older women to find a man. The second thing is, this man probably just got out of a marriage with a nagging, annoying older woman. Somebody who didn't meet his needs, somebody he didn't feel valued by, um, that kind of thing. And so he's not looking for someone who reminds him of his ex wife. He's looking for someone who's fun, someone who will just on his every word, somebody who's going to make him feel like a man, somebody who's going to appreciate what he does for them, somebody who's going to make him feel valued, somebody who will be thrilled to be taken care of in the manner in which he's able to take care of them and will not complain and will not constantly want more, more, more. And so I'm just telling you facts, y'all. You don't have to get mad at me. And so these are all things that are working against the 40-year-old alpha female. She does not want to hang on a man's every word. She does not want to be dependent upon a man. That's not what she went to college and got all those degrees for. She does not want a lot of things that men are looking for. And this is often why she has a problem finding a man. Okay, I know several women who have been single for forever, and those who did decide to marry had to understand eventually, first they had to decide, how much do we want to marry? How important is it to us? Oops, I'm sorry. Okay, oops, sorry. Okay, and then they had to, if they decided that they really did want to marry, they had to understand that I cannot present myself same way, manner in which typically, okay, in which I have been presenting myself. Um, Meaning that, uh, and you have to change your expectations. So going in, and I've seen this time and time again with people I know, going in, they have all this whole list. Oh, Tish, this is what I want from a man. He has to da 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 da. And they feel that they can ask for all these things because they feel, hey, I've got lots of money, I've got property, I've got this great car and this great career and all these degrees. And so I'm able to request all of these things be brought to the table by a man. But the problem is, honey, you are an older woman. You've passed your prime. I hate to say that. I passed my prime too. So I can say, it's like, it's not but the thing is, you passed your prime and you want a man who is, this, and you as a woman are just this to a lot of men simply because of your age, just simply because of your age. And then also, men know that women who are older and have been single for a long time want things their way. They want to be the alpha male of the relationship. And that's not what men left their wives for. First off, you're dealing primarily with a pool of divorced men. So that's the thing right off the bat to me that's very negative. When women have a career first before marriage, oftentimes you are not with the man of your youth. You did not grow together, and um, the nature of the marriage and relationship that you have is very different than that of a marriage or relationship where two people got together when they were young and grew up together. There's something very precious about that. And so you're dealing often with somebody who is divorced. There is the ex-wife, and I'm telling y'all, once again, from all of my friends that I've watched this, it's the same story every time. There's the ex-wife, and the ex-wife is the woman of his youth, the woman that he grew up with. And even though maybe he's left her, they've divorced, they still share children, which they will share until those children die. And guess what? They're going to die before the children, most likely. So there will always be communication. Even if the kids are grown, there's always going to be communication because they created children together and they share those children. Okay. So that's one thing. Second thing, he's always going to have a special place in his heart for this woman. She was his first love. They had their children together. They shared countless life experiences together. He is not just going to divorce her and she's going to disappear from the picture. I think that's another really big mistake that women think is going to happen. Oh, I'm his new boo and his ex-wife isn't. No, she's going to insert herself into your marriage all the time, and she is always going to hold a very special place in his heart, regardless of whether or not he divorced her. So you already start off with a third person oftentimes in your relationship, and if they've got kids, then it's a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, however many children they have, people in your relationship. Okay, there's just not a lot of single, have always been single and never married, older, 30s and up men out there. There just aren't. So you're probably dealing with somebody who's already been married and you haven't. So uneven playing field there. Um, and they really are looking for someone who is very much different, a relationship that is very much different than what they were in. When you become older, when you are an older woman, you just are different than younger women. I don't care. And I see 40 something women out there all the time, half neck, shaking their butt, getting drunk or whatever at, bars or whatever, trying to catch a man, or look fun and exciting and all that, and I'm not trying to judge. I'm just saying, when you're 40, I don't care how cute you think you are or how good you think you look, you're still 40, okay? And men can pick up on that. You're not fooling men thinking into thinking that you're a 20 something year old for the most part. You're not. And so that's another strike that you have against you. Not saying that you aren't fabulous, but it is. It's just real talk. It's a strike. And so when women who are of a certain age do decide that they're going to seriously pursue getting married, there are just certain things that you need to be aware of. And there's a reason why very often they don't find that man, or that man is not what, when they decide upon taking a man, it's not what they envisioned the relationship to be, because often women were romantic and we will romanticize. And so even, if they haven't been married, they've gone all these years not being married, they still kind of have the idea a lot of times of what a marriage is like when you're 20 and you get married. But a marriage at 20 looks a lot different than a marriage at 40, because the person that you get married to has gone through a lot and they've been burned probably, and they've got kids. And so they're not looking at a marriage probably the same way that you are, having never been married before. It's just, you can't duplicate a first marriage. Okay. And so things look different. And like I said, women who have been single for a long time tend to be very set in their ways. They tend to like things a certain way. They tend to have a schedule. They tend to like doing things a certain way. And it's very hard the older you get. Why do you think back in the day they would say, they would call single older women spinsters, or what's the other word for them? I can't remember right now. But anyway, the reason was because not only, was their biological clock ticking, and they were getting older, and it's harder to conceive when you're older. You also have a much greater chance of having a child with Down syndrome or some other kind of genetic condition. Um, you have a higher incidence of miscarriage. There's all kinds of things that occur when you have a child older. And men know that if they want to get remarried and they want to start a new family, that you can't really do that. You can, okay, with somebody in their 40s. Not that women in their 40s are too old to bear children at all, because they're not. But then you're looking at, you've got an older mom. You don't have somebody, because let me tell you, that man is tired. He's already spent his early years raising his kids and putting all this time into them and whatever. And if he wants more kids now, he just wants them to be fun. He wants fun kids. He does not want necessarily kids that he has to do a ton of work with. He wants a young girl so she has the energy to be a good mom, and she can chase after them, and she can do all of those things, and they can just kind of be fun kids for him. But when you have an older mom, and once again, not saying that all this can't happen, because it can, but when you have an older mom, it's harder for women the older they get to raise children, keep up with children, and all of that. That is why our bodies really are designed, and they peak in our younger years. And we really, as women, are designed. Men can have children until they're 100, but that's why we go through premenopause and menopause and all those other things, because we're really meant to be fruitful and multiply during our younger years. It is very difficult to be an older parent. I'm an older parent, trust me, I know, of a young child. So I can tell you that. And our bodies would suggest that that is true. Okay, so that covers older women waiting for marriage and the pitfalls that can happen there with that when you wait. Now, I want to talk about an issue, and this is going to be controversial, and and certain people are going to be offended, and I understand that. I'll just say I understand that. Okay, so let's look at marriage. We're going to start off with and this is for my sisters. This is for my sisters out here. I'm gonna bring up, and this is what I was saying about Cam Newton. Check out what he said. His interview where he talks about this kind of stuff. Um, I'm going to talk about something that is kind of a taboo subject, but there are a lot of us Black women out there who are dogging Black men for getting with white women. Okay? And I'm going to say this. You guys don't know me. I am extremely pro Black. Extremely pro Black. I'm very proud to be Black. I'm very pro Black. And you will see from a lot of my upcoming reels and lives and all that kind of thing. But I'm just going to be real with y'all. I'm going to put the real out there. Why? And yeah, because some of y'all are going to be like, I can't believe she said that. I can't believe she's defending Black men and what they're doing and promoting white women. I'm not promoting white women. I'm just going to spit some facts. Okay. And this is based on, like I said at the beginning of my live, this is based on me talking to young Black men. This is based on me talking to older Black men. This is based on a whole lot of things. Okay. So, but I'm going to spit it and keep it real. So, the reason why, and my husband put this beautifully. And unfortunately, he doesn't like going live and all that kind. He is not a social media person, unfortunately, because y'all, I think he would be the biggest thing since sliced bread if he was on social media, because he says the most insightful things about all kinds of things. And y'all would just love him. But unfortunately, as of yet, I cannot get him to come on to social media except to make little cameo appearances. But we'll see more of him. I'm confident. Let me tell you something. If y'all like and subscribe to my channel, like my videos, my husband, if I can prove to him that this is a very lucrative situation, being a social content creator, he will get on here and y'all are going to go crazy for him. I'm telling you. Wow. He just like, I'm always amazed when he discusses topics, because he covers them so thoroughly and from such an interesting point of view. But anyway, getting back to why more and more Black men are choosing white women. I'm going to tell you because, I've noticed in like even my own friends, they don't understand why. And I'm like, gosh, I can see it. It's so obvious, but they don't understand why. And I'm going to tell you, for the past 20 plus years, plus the entire time I was growing up, I was around nothing but white women. Okay. Nothing but white women. And so I'm overly familiar with their ways, thought processes, and whatnot. Um, but I'm just going to lay it out. Uh, White women in general, not all, and this is actually something that is declining in their culture right now, but in general, still, white women are raised to be anti abortion. Okay. So raised to value home and family. White women are content with staying at home often and raising their children, if they can get a man who is willing to take care of them. They are often very, very happy and thrilled with that. They don't necessarily have the desire to go out and be a bad boss, uh, out and conquer the world and make all the money and always wanting more and more and more. That is one thing that we traditionally, as Black women, display. We want more. We want more. We want all the purses. We want all the big houses. We want all the cars. We want all the money. White women are very often, if a good man will come to them and say, hey, I will treat you like a queen. I will let you stay at home. You don't have to work. I'll go out there and make all the money. You just stay at home and raise our babies and, cook and clean. And they're thrilled with that. They're thrilled. They don't want to have to go out and work. They don't want to be a bad, female. I'm not going to curse, y'all. I don't curse, and I'm not going to start cursing now, but you know what I'm saying. Um, they don't want all that. And so they're thrilled to have a good man who comes home every day. All they have to do is cook an okay dinner, you know, and raise their children. That is great for them. They want a nice house, but they don't have to have the biggest or the best house either. But they also will encourage their man if they want something more. They will encourage their man, they will build him up and help him get to the next level so that he can make more money and he can be more successful. These are things that white women will do, okay? And they will do them gladly. They will listen to their husband. They will be obedient to him. They will let him be the head. They will let him make the decisions. And they know that he loves them very much. And he's not going to make decisions that are going to be harmful or hurtful to them. They trust his judgment. They trust him to be a man. They empower him to be a king in his home. We do not do that in general as Black women. We will break down our men. We will argue our man down. We will make our man feel like, what am I here for? If you make all this money and you've got all these degrees and everything has to be, why do you need me? Where am I important? Why am I here? Often also, Black women don't want to sit down. They don't want to be at home and have a bunch of children. In general, they don't. Now they may have a bunch of kids because they were with these different men and had all these different relationships, and in each relationship they had a different kid, and they just end up with 6 kids. But there's a very big difference between that and you married one man, you purposefully plan to have a large family, and you're staying at home purposefully raising your children. There's a very big difference. But that's why you'll see, when you see interracial couples, you'll see them with 4, 5, 6 kids, because that Black man was looking for a woman who was willing to stay home and have lots of kids and stay home and raise them and take care of them, and a woman who would be proud of having lots of kids and happy to have lots of kids and stay home and take care of them. That's why they have a lot of kids often. Whereas with Black women, our mindset is more on money, goals, work goals, careers, that kind of thing. And that's often, believe it or not, believe it or not, the very opposite of what a lot of Black men are looking for. They don't want someone who's going to be argumentative or overly headstrong or all of that. Things that we as Black women very often are known for. And I know I'm not trying to tear down Black women. I'm just trying to say what it is. And I know that we have historically had to be strong. We have historically had to carry a lot. I know that they have taken, um, men out of our households. The government itself has taken, in the past, have taken men out of our actual households. I know that since slavery times, our men were sold away and we had to become strong Black women. Okay, I get it. I understand it. I know the historical value behind it. But what I'm telling you is the real. This is why that same strength, that inability to relinquish control, inability to recognize the man at the head of his household, um, the inability to want to stay at home, you know, um, and cook, make sure that your husband has a hot meal and clean and, satisfy all of his needs in the bedroom when he wants it, and all of those things. I understand, but I'm just saying that is why our Black men are going to white women. My son was saying today, I'm not going to say what he said. Okay. Gotta respect his privacy. I'm not going to say what he said. But anyway, these are facts. Okay. So that's why a lot of our Black men are moving away from Black women. So, uh, okay. Next topic. We are going to discuss, if you got a man, how to keep a man. Okay. Now, next topic being, how do you keep your man? And why do so many men leave their wives? Why is there a divorce rate? There's many reasons why the divorce rate is very high. Many, many, many reasons. But one thing is, let me tell you something just about men. Men are visual creatures. Why do you think porn is a multi-billion-dollar business? Multi-billion-dollar business. Porn is a multi-billion-dollar business per year because men are visual creatures. That's why certain women dress a certain way, because they know men are going to look. They're going to look. It's natural. They're going to look. If something is walking by them that's super hot, they're going to look because they're visual creatures. Okay, so knowing this, tell me why. Tell me why. Okay, tell me why women get married. Okay. So when you were dating and courting your husband, you look cute. You cared about your makeup and your hair and your nails and how you were dressed and how much weight you put on and, you know, your appearance in general and all of that, and the way you talked and you listened to him and all these other things. And then you get married and you pop out a couple kids, and now you wear nothing but old, dirty, baggy shirts and yoga pants and those old New Balance tennis shoes, um and your hair is greasy and in a bun and all of these things, right? And you wonder why your husband is doesn't look at you the same way anymore. I wonder why. Hmm. Okay, so this is something that I like to advise women, because in the Bible it says that we as older women are supposed to teach and advise the younger women. And women nowadays do not want to, they really don't want to receive any kind of instruction, very opposed to receiving instruction, but then also at the same time, like, I'm going to trash that man if he doesn't want me. But have you ever thought that maybe is there something about, there could possibly be something about you that is not making you attractive to your husband? Now, I am not condoning cheating at all whatsoever. Okay, there are cheaters out there. There are men who cheat, and they're going to be cheaters regardless of what you do or you say or how many kids you have or whatever. Okay, definitely want to acknowledge that. But what I do want to say to you, ladies, is there was a woman that your husband fell in love with, and she was fun, and she was probably exciting, and she probably laughed a lot, and she probably cared how she looked and all of these things. And then he marries you, and that's what he married, right? That's what he wanted, that's what he was attracted to, that's what he married. And then you have children, and we as women in our minds, we feel totally justified. Like, yeah, I gained 20 pounds because I had kids, and yeah, I don't keep my hair cute anymore because I don't have time to keep my hair cute because I'm raising kids, and their needs are above my needs, right? And yeah, I don't have time to be fun and have stimulating conversation with you anymore because I'm dead tired raising these kids, right? Well, guess what? I would love to say that men really in their hearts understand that, and they will say, yes, I know, or what, but really they don't understand that. And that's why there's so many men that frequent prostitutes, and so many men that cheat, and so many men that divorce their wives, and all, because deep down inside, even though he's looking at you and sympathizing with you and everything else, he's really thinking, she used to be hot and now she's not. Yeah, I love her, but that's what he's thinking. So, women, this is something that I want you, if you're watching this and you have a man and you're married, or, I want you to work on practicing. When you know your husband is about to come home, or if you work before you come home, and see your husband for the evening, I want you to go make yourself look pretty. I want you to make sure you're wearing something nice. I want you to make sure that if you wear makeup, you've done your makeup. I want you to make sure that you've got your nails done. I want you to make sure that you're presenting yourself in a manner that is attractive to him, so that when he comes home, okay, men need something to come home to. They need something to feel like, um, I'm coming home. This is exciting. I'm coming home to this. This is what's going to be waiting for. Men they need something exciting to come home to, and they also need their home to be a refuge. Okay. So if your husband's coming home and you're arguing every day, or if your husband's coming home and you don't know how to control your children, and your children are just holy terrors and running around, acting crazy, screaming, yelling, and everything else, no man wants to come home to that. He does not want to come home to that. He wants to come home to good smells. He wants to smell something cooking in the oven that smells great. He wants his children to be, maybe they were wild before, but hey, daddy's home. I need you to shut up, sit down, be quiet, read a book, do your homework, or do some other kind of quiet activity. Okay? He wants some peace. He needs some peace. He needs to feel that his home is a refuge. So, for example, in my house, my husband has an office. Okay. And that is, I have an office. I'm here in my office, and my husband has an office, and that is his refuge. That is his retreat. That is his place where he can go and he can be alone, and he can decompress, or he can work, or he can think, or whatever else, away from sometimes me, our kids, or whatever. He is a very involved father. He's continuously available, and I'm very blessed for that. But I also realize that he does need his personal space as well. Um, just like I do. I need my personal space as well. Sometimes I need to think, sometimes I need to create content, sometimes I need to whatever, but I just want to be able to close my door and have my own personal space. Okay. So if your husband does not have an office or a den or something like that, somewhere. You need to carve out somewhere in your house where he can go and be alone. Okay, where he can just be alone with his thoughts, or where he can watch the game or whatever, without children jumping all over the couch and running and screaming and chasing each other, and continual noise and hustle and bustle and all that. You need to figure out, and I don't care what size house you're in, you need to figure out some kind of man cave for your husband. Okay, whether you have a really big closet and you want to convert part of your closet into a man cave, or whether you have an office space, or whether you buy a shed that you can put out back behind the house for him, or if you can convert some of your garage, whatever, make sure your husband has a space. Okay, very, very important to his happiness and his peace of mind. Okay. All right. So, kind of covered that. Make sure that you look cute. And that's what I was going to say. I want you to look at pictures of when you and your husband were dating. And I want you to see what you look like in those pictures, because that's what he married and that's what he wanted. Okay. We do this big trick switching thing on men. They get married to us. We look one way, right? And then after a couple years, we look a completely different way. And it's like, a good man will never tell you, honey, you've gotten really fat, or honey, this or that. Often they will not tell you. But in their minds, they're thinking, this is not what I married. I married that. And now I got this. And it kind of seems like a trick to them. Okay. It's important to remember that, because if you start looking dumpy frumpy, your man's eye is going to wander more and more. Let me tell you what happens with, and this gets into my reel of she will take your man. Okay. She will take your man. Um, if your husband works outside of the home in the workplace, and you've got a man who handles business, pays the bills, comes home every night, you don't have to go looking for him at a bar or something like that, doesn't cheat or whatever, your husband is prime property. Okay. Like my husband, not a day in my life if I ever had to go looking for him. He's home every night. He's home all the time. He's a homebody. He brings home his paycheck. I've never had to wonder, like, why, did the light get turned off or whatever. He gives me an allowance. He has allowed me to stay at home all these years with our kids and raise them, which is what was very important to me, what I wanted to do. So my husband talks about me at work, prime property. Okay. All kinds of women, married women, single women, all kinds of women want him. He is a great catch. Great catch. He is 48. He looks very good, does not look 48. But even if he looked 58 or 68, guess what? These 20-year-old somethings or these young girls at work would still want him just as much, because young girls are smart. They know a good thing when they see it. They know, hey, I can marry that guy and he can treat me like a queen, put me in a nice house, give me an allowance. All I have to do is spit out a couple kids and cook dinner and have sex with him a couple times a week. That's all I have to do. Older women can't see what a good deal that is often, but younger women sure can. And let me tell you, younger women, in order to lure your husband away from you, will look cute. They will say little funny things. They will listen to every word he says. They will make him feel special and important and look cute while doing it. That is what I'm telling y'all. I know y'all think I've been with my husband for 400 years and I've got him secured and he would never. I'm sorry. If Susie puts that in front of him every single day in and day out, and she is consistent, and trust me, unlike you, Susie will be consistent, your husband might just give in eventually. So it's very important that you give your husband what he wants at home if you want to keep him. Don't take him for granted. If he wants it, if you're not in the mood, Get in the mood. It's not going to kill you. You know what I always think about when my husband wants something and maybe I'm not in the mood to give it to him? I think about, you know what? He didn't front when he gave me my allowance. You know what? He didn't front when he built me this house. You know what? He didn't front when I asked him to go get me something to eat at 10 o'clock at night. I think about those things. I think about all the little sacrifices that my husband does for me. And then I think, you know what? He's asking for this. I may not be in the mood. I may not want to be bothered, whatever, but I am going to do it immediately. It is my pleasure because he does so much for me. And these are the kinds of things that can be lost on women often after you've been married for a long time. But it's not lost on Susie at the office. So listen, if you want to keep your man, because Susie will snatch your man and she'll snatch her in a heartbeat. Let me tell you something, and this goes along with she will take your man. I've seen it in the homeschool community. I've seen these Christian women, right, will bring their husband around for whatever day or to help or whatever. And I've seen marriages break up because women will jump all over. If you are talking to, it's a little tip here. If you're talking to your girlfriend all the time about how great your husband is and how fabulous he is and what he does for you and all these other things, don't think for a minute that your girlfriend may not be scheming on your man, because I've seen that too. She knows everything about him because you've told her everything about him. She knows what he likes, what his favorite color is, what he likes to eat, if he likes, when he likes to have sex, how he likes to. She knows everything because you've provided her with all the information. So she's ready. She's done her homework and she's ready to swoop in there if she has a chance, catch your man's eye, and take him away from you. I've seen it happen. It can happen. Susie will take your man if you are not careful. Make sure that you are meeting your husband's needs. You need to listen to him. You need to provide a peaceful home for him. You need to cook for him. It says cooking is the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, right? Okay, it's an old saying, but it's an old saying because it's a true saying. If you cook for your husband and you keep him satisfied in the bedroom on a regular basis, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to put you up on some game. Your husband will look past a whole lot of other things. He will be satisfied. He will stay home. He will do for you. If you can listen to him, provide a peaceful home, cook for him, and keep him satisfied in the bedroom, these are keys to keeping a man. All right. So now we're going to move on. Not going to take too much longer. Not too much longer. Okay, we're going to move on to last topic that I'm going to cover tonight is how unattractive women keep a hot man. Okay, I don't know if you've seen this before, but this is very common, especially with black men with white women. You will see a hot, smoking hot black man with an unattractive white woman. Okay, either she might be very plain, extremely plain, and I'm not saying being plain is unattractive, but when I say unattractive, and I'm sorry that I use that term, I'll say not traditionally, like what you would expect somebody who's a 10 to be with, right? Somebody who could have had any woman that he wanted, but he chose this woman. And you're just like mind blown because maybe you've known this person for a while and you're thinking, oh my gosh, her husband, there's just no way that he could be handsome. And then he comes to an event or something, or you meet him and you're like on the floor, right? Because you're just like, oh my gosh, how did she get that man? How did she keep that man? How did that man decide that he was going to have children with her? All these questions go through your head. Be honest, we've all been there. Okay, let me tell you something. This is what she's doing. She's doing what I just mentioned. She got him not because of her looks. She got him because she was doing all the things the pretty girls felt they were too good to do. Let Let me tell you something about pretty girls. Pretty girls don't feel like they have to do anything but be pretty. Really, that's all they feel they need to do in life. All I have to do is be pretty. But let me tell you something about plain girls or unattractive girls. Plain girls or unattractive girls understand and know I don't have any looks going for me, so I have to accentuate everything else. They cater to their men. Their man ended up with him because it was just too good. There was no way he couldn't. And she's going to be consistent in how she treats him. She's not going to forget what he married and why he married her. She's not going to forget that. She does not want to lose her man because she knows it's probably going to be pretty hard to find another 10 out there. So she is going to be consistent in her behaviors and her actions regarding her man. She is going to keep him 1000% satisfied in the bedroom. He is not going to want for anything else. He is not going to have fantasies about any other woman because all of his fantasies are going to be being met in the bedroom. Bam! That's really important to men. If y'all don't know anything about men, there's two things that men really want and need, and that's somebody who will meet all their desires in the bedroom and somebody who's a really good cook. Okay? If you're handling those two things, let me tell you, it goes a long way. Okay? And let me tell you, the girl who's not that attractive, the girl who's, you know, she's handling those things. She's giving him a peaceful haven. She's taking care of the kids. He's not coming home to chaos. The house is clean. The food smells delicious when he walks in the door. She's picking out his outfits. She's listening to him every evening. She's giving him back massages because he's had a rough day at the office and he needs to unwind. She's making sure the paper is laid out for him if he reads the paper. She's starting his showers. His clothes are washed and put up. She's doing all the things, okay? And that's why he's having a billion kids with her. She's staying at home. She's got the nice house and the car and everything else. And you're looking at her and thinking, what on earth could he possibly see? And he's taking pictures with her. He's proud of her. He's going all over town holding her hand and dragging their kids around and everything else because she's queen material. Hmm. And you're thinking, I'm too good to do all that. Well, that could be why your marriage isn't very successful or you're single. These could be reasons. So anyway, I hope that y'all got I have more marriage advice, tips, whatever. But I hope that y'all got something out of this live and I hope it may be beneficial to your marriage in some kind of way. Um I hope yes, I just hope that it may have provided a different perspective. Oh, really quickly, I wanted to talk about cultures because I've hit the 1 hour mark. I don't want to go too much further over, but I wanted to talk about cultures, okay, and what culturally marriage looks like, okay? So when we talk about Latino families, right, we have families that family is everything, okay? They're very important. Their elders are very important. They revere their elders. The women are typically very submissive to their husbands. Okay, they let their men feel like kings. They even treat their young sons like kings often. Okay, and so they cook, they clean, they don't have a problem with staying home in general, often. Very often, family is very important to them, and that's how they stay close and tight knit. Okay, so let's look at Asians. Asians typically, remember when I refer to cultures and races and all that, this is not everybody in that culture or that race, but Asians typically value family very, very much. Once again, a very strong familial bond. They revere their elders and they shun divorce, okay, in general. All right, if we move on to white people now they are morphing and changing. They are a changing demographic. But traditionally, there's much more divorce and dysfunction among white families now than there used to be. But traditionally, they are anti-abortion. They are raised, white women are typically, like I said, things are changing, but typically are raised to value life and family and to be very accommodating of their husbands in general. Once again, in general, do not have a huge problem with letting their husbands be head of households and are happy to stay at home and raise their children if they are offered that lifestyle. Okay. And then we come to African Americans. And what do we have? We have broken homes, a lot of children who don't even know their father, high divorce rate. Okay. I do not know why Alexa is listening to my conversation. Okay, creepy. But anyway, that's the kind of thing that we have. And so you look at races that are thriving, we also have very high abortion rates. You look at races that are thriving, and then you look at our race, which is always on seemingly some sort of downturn of some sort. Okay, think about family values. Okay, if you are a Black woman out there and you're wondering why you're single, think about the things that our culture values. Think about the things that we put great pride in. Being a boss woman and handling your own business. And I'm not saying those things are bad, but what I am saying is we put emphasis on a lot of things as Black women outside of marriage and family. And then we bash our Black men who seek those traditional things elsewhere. Doesn't make a lot of sense. And then we wonder why there's so many broken homes and families. We are not living still in the 60s. I am not saying that we are free from prejudice and injustice and all kinds of things. We are not, but we're also not living in the 60s. We have a lot more opportunities and things open to us and available to us than our earlier uh, family members did. And so, I like to say when you know better, do better. And a lot of Black women would argue we have done better. We're getting degrees, we're highly educated, we're making, a lot of money, we are entrepreneurs, and all of that is true. But I have to ask at what cost? At what cost? Um, That's great. I like to say always that the devil's greatest wish is for women to be entrepreneurs outside of the home and to be business women and business minded and career women, because then nobody's raising the kids. And that's exactly what Satan wants. He wants nobody raising the kids. So I just think all that kind of behavior is playing into the devil's hand. But anyway, I am officially leaving now. Thank you for watching. Like I said, please like and subscribe, hit replay, hashtag replay if you're watching this on a replay. And like I said, I am going to do my very best tomorrow to go live during the day. Going to try hard. Going to work on it. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about yet, but I'll come up with that. Hope that you all have I can't even say, day, because it's like almost morning and I'm going to see you tomorrow. So, all I can say is, Lord willing, I will see you in a few hours. Okay. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.